Welcome, Michael Cole, Facebook Live number 267 or 269. That's how many of these conversations we've had since we've been looking, and we're always in search of awesome people and awesome performance in the Summit Salon community. And tonight is no different. Carmen Huizenga is in my house. She is a level 4 stylist, but no, wait, there's more. She's blowing the freaking charts because in January she was 1. So we're like 10 months into this thing, and she went from 1 to 4 inside of like a 10-month window. I don't know. I would say that is blowing it up on steroids. And she's works at Bloom Boutique Salon, Crown Point, Indiana. Salon owner Amy Carr, who is on tonight because your prodigy's on, Amy, and she says good things about you. So she's going to be bragging on you a little bit, Amy. And then the summit coach, Carrie Johnson, is part of the conversation as well, because I think between Carrie and Amy, they showed Carmen what was possible, and and now she's showing all of us what's possible. So here's why I wanted her to come on, and I hear some of her stats that I find to be extraordinary. Age 25, first month as level 4. So she just popped in level 4. She's brand new. She's cooking at a average service ticket that's 3 times her haircut price. So her haircut price is at 50, and her average service ticket's just under 150, which tells us all she really has all of her guests very, very, very involved in services that go beyond a haircut. I mean, she really is in the business of creating looks and promoting the services that support those looks. That's one of the reasons why she's on tonight, you guys. Average day behind the chair is just under 500, doing about 6-7 referrals a month, rebooking just under 75%, and RTS is just under 20. So she is hitting all of the numbers. She's going to give us kind of her story tonight, so I don't want to take anything away from it. But graduates from high school in 15, hair school in 2020, and as I said, starts at Bloom Boutique Salon as an associate and level 1 in 2020, and really it gets on the floor on the front end of this year and just kind of blows through the charts. She's trending to do 60 grand in a W-2, and I was chatting with her tonight. It is very, very more than possible, even probable, that she could hit a 6-figure W-2 in her second year behind the chair. I mean, those of you that have been part of the conversations know that is right up there with unprecedented. So we were chatting about that before I brought her in. So stay tuned. More will be revealed on that. I absolutely love her Instagram page. Her handle is hair_by_Carmen H. So from her grids to her highlight library to what she's doing on IGTV, etc., just unbelievable. So follow her. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be following her and DMing her. I know that I do. So she's in my green room now. We're going to go get her, and I'm going to get her talking about her story, and then we're going to see if we can zap a little bit of her secret sauce as to what in the world she's doing to pour nitroglycerin on the bonfire. So let's go get her. There she is here, so we're going to go full screen. We're going to unmute Miss Carmen so you can hear her, and you're going to give her a round of applause to make her feel welcome. Hi, Carmen.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you for coming on, and I know you worked today, and it's been a long day, and we're just thrilled to have you on the show.
I'm honored to be a part of it. This is awesome.
Well, we always like to start with the story, Carmen, because it really gives us a sense as to who the person is, kind of the person side of it, and then we'll get into some of what you're doing behind the chair. So who are you, and what inspired you to be a hairdresser and get in the biz?
Oh, man. I don't know. I feel like my whole life I always wanted to do hair. It was kind of like something I feel like that was always like talking in the back of my ear. And I feel like it was something I never really knew how badly I wanted it until I got there. And then it's just kind of been like, how can I get there the fastest? So
And
I
then,
feel like I've always been inspired.
but I was looking at your timeline. You graduated in 2015 from high school, I think, correct?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
but hair school was 3, 4 years later.
Yeah.
What did you do between 15 and hair school? Did you try some other school and thought, eh?
Yeah. So I went through high school. I wasn't really my thing. I was like, I don't really want to do a 4-year college. I don't know if that's really gonna suit me. So I really loved interior decorating. I went to school for that, and
Mm.
I worked at a place around here, DeYoung Interiors, for just about 3 years, and I loved it. But I feel like the one thing I felt like I really was missing was kind of like a little bit more like goal oriented and structure. And so I feel like in the back of my head, it was kind of like, well, if I don't go to hair school now, I know I'm never going to go. And I was kind of waiting around for, is there going to be a school around here I'm like really interested in diving into? And right when I graduated high school, there wasn't yet. And then they opened a Paul Mitchell, which was kind of the school I guess I had wanted to go to if I was going to go. And so I went in 2019, June of 2019. And yeah, I kind of stopped my other career, went back to school full time, and
Rest is
finished
history.
June of
When did you
2020.
when did you meet Amy?
So I met Amy. I think it was March of or January maybe of 2020. I think it was. It was before the or of 2019 because it was before the pandemic. So I don't even know what year that was. 2020.
Yeah, and then
So
were you still in school? Did you two hook up when you were in school, or did you meet her afterwards?
yeah, no, I met her while I was in school.
That's what I
Actually,
thought.
the director of the school I was at, she was like, I think that you would really love this person. I know I go to church with her. She is opening a salon, and I feel like it's totally your area of like what you would want to do. I think you should reach out to her. So I did, and Amy got back to me, and she was like, I'd love to sit and have a conversation. So we met and got coffee, and it just worked out. I feel like she had the perfect personality for what I was looking for, and her goals were what I wanted, and I feel like it was just the fit I was kind of waiting to find.
And then you on ramp. But I said to you before the program, I said you're doing something in your first year that it takes somebody that's really on the ball 4 or 5 years to kind of get to that. So in the interviews we've done, we know that somewhere in the ride there's a definable moment where you hear something, you see something about potential, and it's like the nitroglycerin gets poured on the bonfire. And I know that you had one of those moments. What was that moment where you got like the sides blown off of your brain box?
Yeah, I we were having our meeting, and I was still an associate, and I was training under Amy. And Carrie Johnson, who was our summit coach, she came in, and she was kind of excited. We were starting as level 1 in the next like upcoming couple weeks, and she was telling me about someone who had jumped 4 levels in a year, and she was like, I've never had somebody do that. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds kind of cool. I feel like I was kind of still trying to figure out the whole hair thing. I feel like I'm a very structured person, which is why I like Summit, but I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to kind of like just go with the flow. And so I was kind of struggling to understand the cosmetology world because it is so creative and so like free. And so I remember being like, I could either feel kind of bad for myself and not really know exactly how I want to start doing hair, or I can set a goal for myself and I can go for it. And I'm either going to love it or I'm not. And I just remember choosing like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I want to be the second person she's ever had that does it. And I didn't tell anybody about it until I finished level 2. And then I was like, okay, this is within reach, and I'm just gonna keep going. And so I finally told Amy about it like halfway through level 3, I think, and just kind of was like, this is really what I'm working towards. And I just kind of kept going. I don't know.
So I mean, I'm kind of doing the math in my head. For you to get from 1 to 4 in the time that you have been there, that means that you did a jump just about every 3 months, which is kind of qualifying. So you just kept qualifying, and it's because you set this goal, and you and I were chatting. How focused were you to get to this place? And were there days where there's an intensity that's like, that's like gives you shortness of breath.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely days like that, but I feel like, and I know I had said this to you before too, it was like the more I would focus on like, I have to meet this goal, I have to hit this dollar amount, I have to do this to get where I want to be, it was like the more restrained I felt versus like the more like able I let myself become with like my clients to just like open up with them and like really understand them and like them understand me. Like I'm still growing. I'm just over a year out of cosmetology school, and I feel like for them to like choose to grow with me is huge. Like I
Right.
could not ask for more than that. Like that's an honor.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I'm hearing you say that when you focus on the number, it's just stressed out. But when
Yeah,
you can kind of get the number out of your head, and every client that you're serving, you just get present. I mean, if you're going to focus on anything, focus on them and giving them just not only an awesome look, but a great experience, so that they're really compelled to rebook and come back to hang with you. And it sounds like
for
that's
sure.
what you did.
Yeah, I feel like the more I would think about like what can I do, how can I get it, it was like the less I could do, but the more it was like, well, I'm not doing it, my clients are doing it, or like Amy's teaching me, or the girls I work with are like inspiring me. That's like how I can do it. It's not me, I'm not the one paying the ticket.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what's next? Like, what do you see yourself cooking, going for in 2021, 2022?
Yeah, I know the years are flying. I feel like in 2022, I don't know, there's a big desire to want to like, I don't know, be the person that hits those goals. But I mean, I'm getting married and we bought a house, we've been renovating. So I feel like that's my number one goal, is to kind of settle into my new life with my husband and with those things that are going to really like ground me. And then I can feel like I can hit the ground running again. And hopefully I can reach those goals that
Well,
you were
yeah,
talking
I mean,
about.
you and I were chatting before we went live, and it's like you set a target, but is it about hitting the target or not? Not necessarily. If I've got a target and I'm as present in 2022 with my clients as I was in 2021, wherever it is I land, it's going to be substantially beyond where I was, just because I'm kind of in the same process in
For sure.
22 as I was in 21. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out.
Yeah.
I want to pivot a little bit and get you talking about, because for most people it's hard for them to wrap their mind around 4 level jumps in a about a 10 or 11 month period. Were there any best practices? Were there any actions, any patterns, any rhythms that you kind of fell into that you would say, yeah, I'm glad I focused on this because it helped speed things up.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest things that really helped me was, I feel like everybody's had that experience when you go in a salon and you're kind of like, okay, I'm nervous. I've had bad hair color before. I've had a horrible haircut. Like, I don't want to go through that again. And I remember Amy telling me that one day, and she was like, you have to remember how anxious people get when they come into the salon. Like you want to be the person they feel comfortable with. And so I feel like that was kind of like where my mind shifted a little bit. And I was like, okay, I can relate to that. It became relatable for me being a client at some point to now, okay, how can I do that for my client? And how can I make them want to feel just as comfortable? So I feel like talking through like, what's your budget? Like, what are you comfortable with? Where do you want to be today? Like, what's your end goal? Not maybe just for this appointment, but for your next 2 or 3. I feel like those little things have kind of been like part of what has made the whole experience like be able to just kind of like keep ticking along. And I
Right.
feel like it's just really keeping that open door with my client. Like, if you are comfortable here, we stay here. If you're ready for a change or you want to spend this amount with doing add-ons, and we go there.
Right, right. So you kind of intuiting as to where they're, how far they want to go in their first visit or second visit in terms of the creation of a look, and the commitment it takes, the financial commitment, etc. Now, a
Mm-hmm.
couple of things I wanted to ask you about, but I just had somebody, a friend, Lavola, asked the question: how many days a week are you working? How many hours a day currently?
So I am 5 days a week and every other. So I'm 5 days, 4 days, 5 days, 4 days.
So every other week you'll work 4,
Yeah.
right? Got it, got it. Um,
And that started the last couple months. That hasn't been the whole time.
I'm the other thing I wanted to get you talking about is I'm gonna, and actually I'm gonna hold it up as you're talking about it, and that's your Instagram page. I was just
Yeah.
kind of crawling some of your highlights, and like you've got an extension highlight, and it's just a nice blend of live, some video, and then some shot. Here we're seeing you actually doing a process. Then it flips to sometimes a picture. How much time are you putting into creating that kind of content?
I mean, I feel like social media can be like a full-time job on its
Yes.
own. Um, I feel like sometimes a post just comes to you if I'm feeling creative. I can just kind of type it out and I can post it and it kind of just follows, I feel like. But for those, I feel like I'm like a scroll. I'm not like really a reader. So I feel like for me, if it can catch my attention in 2 seconds, then I want to watch it. So I feel like sometimes social media part like that is helpful.
I mean, I'm looking at like on one of the slides on your highlights, you've got motion, a video moving, and then a static picture. So it tells me that you're playing with your videography, and that that's working for you really well. And then and then your grids are like, I'm looking at your grids, and I can see that you're kind of specializing in, it looks like blonding, hair extension, and those are pretty big tickets, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they're never a one-stop shop. They're maintenance and they kind of keep people I feel like it keeps the client reaching for a goal.
What just curious that if I take a look at your a typical piece of content on your grids, that ticket looks like it's $200 plus.
Yeah, yeah, I would say it's pretty fair.
Yeah, and then when you're doing extensions, how's that priced out?
Those I feel like can vary so much depending. They can be a 2 to 300 if you're just maybe adding a piece here and there to fill in like maybe like a less full area. But I feel like a full head can be anywhere from 700 to however much you really want to
Yeah,
spend.
so hair extensions along with high-end specialized blonding services, balayaging, that really is what is lifting, blowing up your ticket and getting you through the system quicker, at least from the outside of your life looking in. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I would say I would agree.
Um, so, before we sign off, there's a bunch of people watching tonight. There's going to be a lot of people watching over the next few days, few weeks, and they're kind of looking at you, listening to you, relating and identifying with you, but they're not at where you're at yet. They're at, whatever that place is, but they're looking, going, wow, this is possible for her. I wonder, is it possible for me? Should I or should I not go for that goal? What might you say to them that would provoke or inspire them to kind of like take the shot like you did?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're the only person who can stop yourself or who can push yourself. And I feel like you always get those little voices on one side and the other side. And I feel like if you set a goal and you want to go for it, people can encourage you or discourage you or however you want to take that. But I feel like if you focus on what you're going for, you're going to get where you want to go. And you're the only person who can get you there. No one else can do it for you.
No,
Surround yourself with the people who want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I love what you're saying. I was in a conversation today with somebody where, the question is, what are the three or four, what's the most important thing you need to focus on? And it was like a multiple choice question. And there were like three or four different answers. And, three of them were actions. And then in one of the answers, it was just one word, believe. And then she said, correct answer is believe. That if there's a willingness to just believe and then demonstrate that willingness to believe by actions, we begin receiving what we're believing. So I can only imagine that throughout the year you were having a lot of amazing experiences. Basically, you were amazed by the experiences that you were having, and then you're going, okay, this looks real. I really do believe it. Let's go.
Totally. And I feel like there's been a lot of like discouraging, like scary moments, you know, like, oh gosh, do I try that? That's new. That's scary. I mean, anyone I work with can vouch for that. I am like queen routine. Like I don't like change. I'm not like really spunky in my shift, but I feel like if you are willing to just accept the process and just really just go for it, like guns blazing, I mean, you'll get there.
I love it.
You just
Well,
gotta do
listen,
it.
we're out of time, but you and I were chatting, and I want you back for an encore in 2022 to see, your pace. I know you got a lot going on in 2022 in your personal life and with your marriage coming up. When, by the way, do you have a date set for marriage?
October 22.
As in this year?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good. Well, congratulations, and it'll be a big last quarter for you. But I'd like to see, we'll stay in touch because I follow you, and have you back to see if you how close you get to hitting the bullseye on six figures.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be fun. I would like to do that.
All right, my friend. Well, thanks for giving us a few minutes tonight. I'm going to let you get back to the fam. And congratulations on the new change in your life, and Godspeed to a six-figure year in 2022.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome. I love it.
All right, we're going to give it up for Miss Carmen one more time. Have a good evening, Carmen.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right, bye now. That was cool. That was very cool, you guys. It's interesting. We had more people watching tonight, and it's because the idea that there was going to be somebody on 20-something that moved through 4 levels in a year, and not only in the year but in her first year, and at 60,000 W-2, very, 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 very respectable for first year, and I would bet that if she doesn't hit 6 figures in 2022, she will be within striking distance. So stay tuned. More will be revealed for her. For those of you that are new to the community, you're watching Michael Cole Millionaire Stylist on Facebook. We have this conversation every Thursday night, bringing somebody in from the world. I'm going to call it the Carmens of the world, that are just doing awesome and amazing things. So it's every week at 8 Central, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. So invited you to be here for that. The same handle on Instagram, with the exception that we try to take the, like tonight, I think the interview is about 20 minutes. We'll take the best of the 5 minutes and put it on my IGTV channel on Instagram, so you get the cut to the chase version. So that's there for you as well. Want to do a 30-second shameless plug for a brand new platform that we have called Summit Salon 365.com, and it's really where we're putting production value video content. Unlike this is live stuff and you can do the rewatch, this content we put a lot more production value with edits in it, and I've just this year I put a brand new piece of content on emotional mindfulness, and we're this far away from putting the second piece of content called mental mindfulness, mental wellness. So it's just extraordinary. So it's a very modest subscription fee to plug into that. So I invite you to, that would be another follow-up to that as well. Carrie Johnson was watching tonight. You should reach out to her, and she will be more than happy to do a complimentary consultation online, like a Zoom meeting, calling on her 800 number, or on if you direct message her on Instagram, you can get to her as well. Something that really love has been kind of a labor of love. I reinvented or reimagined a lot of the calculators we use when we set goals. We've gamified them, and we've made them fun and simple. And we're calling them the Behind the Chair Millionaire calcs, Dream Machine. We got a Dream Machine for the salon owner now. Magic Day Calc, Golden Goose, Debt Free. And you can access that by going to my Michael Cole Millionaire Stylist Instagram page and hit on Linktree, and you can use them. And it's compliments L'Oreal. So there's no cost to using these. And there's a lot of consultants, a lot of sales consultants, a lot of hairdressers using this, that saving them a lot of time in setting up their numbers so that they can have years that are very much like Carmen's years. So take me up on the offer. Last but not least, I always like to do a shameless plug for L'Oreal PPD. That is the partner of Summit Salon Business Center. Use their brands. Professional, the Salon Emotion is kind of the educational brand that hovers over all the rest of their brands. We are powered by them. So that means that their financial support allows us to bring all of this to you, compliments them. So thank you kindly, L'Oreal. We've got Biolage up there, Pulp Riot, Kerastase, which is kind of, somebody said, it's crack for hair. Purology, L'Oreal Professional, Redken, Matrix, Shoe, and Mazzani. So support the brands to the degree you support them. L'Oreal is in a position to continue to support us, so it's all good. Great evening. Gonna let you get back to your fam. Stay tuned for us. We'll be with you next week as well. So keep on blowing it up, and we'll see you in the community.